In previous videos, we built a team of AI agents that allow us to automate the research process, including citations. We have a research leader that researches the table of contents, a project planner that delegates the work to a team of research assistants that does the work, and then an editor that ties everything together into a comprehensive report, including citations. Today, we'll be adding a creative director agent that transforms these reports into engaging visual formats, from infographics to comic strips that make complex information accessible and memorable. In this video, I'll walk you through the complete workflow and technical implementation. Here are a couple examples of the output of this workflow. The top is the visualization. This is the cartoon comic strip. And then at the bottom here is the well-researched comprehensive report with all the citations and sources. And this is a second visualization that has a different type of visualization, an infographic visualization that has a summary, and then the comprehensive report follows. Let's start this workflow and see the research agents in action. So I'll start and execute the workflow. And I'm going to select the topic NVIDIA latest news. And then I'm going to have a professional tone and about 1,500 words. I'll choose 5 sections of the report, and I'll select cartoon as the image style. All right, so the research team starts with a research leader who does a research from the Perplexity tool, which gathers the information from the internet with real-time information. And this will create a table of contents. So then it'll go and pass this to the project planner. And then the project planner will go and to the next step. So it's going to process here and create a work plan for the research assistants. So we'll walk through that after it processes the work plan. I'll just do a brief pause here. All right, so now it's going to the research assistants. There's 5 research assistants that are processing the project planner. So the plan that's created by the project planner. So this will take a couple of minutes. I'll pause. So now it's finished the research assistant, and now it's processing the editor. So editor is responsible from taking all the inputs of all the research assistants' outputs, and then consolidating that and making sure that the citations are proper and generating a comprehensive report. And then this is the new thing that we've added here with the creative director. So this creative director will call into a MCP server. So we'll do a deep dive into this MCP server. So the server is the one that allows us to get all the creative artwork that allows us to make this report more engaging. So this is going to process here, and it's going to figure out how to create the graphics, and then upload that into an image server that then we're going to polish it. So in this polish, we're taking the image that is generated and adding a title to the report, as well as incorporating that image into the HTML for the total report and sending that out through email. So now the report's finished, and I get an email with the comprehensive report, including the visual. All right, now let's do a deep dive, particularly in this new creative director node. All right, so I'll link to a previous video where I did a deep dive on these particular nodes so that you can get more context. But for this video, I'll just focus primarily on the new thing that's added with this creative director. So in this creative director, I'll open this node, and in this node, I've given it a persona of a creative director who is skilled in visual storytelling and brand identity, and then I give it some instructions. So in these instructions, I tell it to analyze the article that was from the previous node. So in the previous node, we have the editor who's combined the whole article. So now I say, all right, so I'm passing in an article and a style that I want. And then the instructions here are to analyze the article, to extract the main ideas and any insights, and summarize into 4 key points. And then I have here 2 styles. One is a infographic style. So if the style that was specified is infographic, then it's going to use this prompt. So in this prompt, what it specifies is a kind of a dimension for the infographic, a vertical layout, and then the style and the design, and then some of the specifications around that. And then the second one is the second style is a cartoon style. So if these just says a cartoon style, then it's just going to create a 4-panel cartoon comic strip based on the 4 key points that were summarized from the article. And then after we do that, after we generate the prompt, then we generate the image and then convert that into Markdown so that we can insert that into the HTML file that goes into the polish node that then gets into the Gmail node. Okay, so this is the bridge between the editor and the polish node. So how does it actually generate the image? So this is where the MCP client comes in. So MCP is the Model Context Protocol, and it's a way to make reusable software for large language models. So what I've done here is that I've created a MCP server. So if I double click here, then it's pointing to this endpoint, and that's pointing to my MCP server. So my MCP server will have an implementation of the tools that is needed by the creative agent. So I'm going here to my MCP server. So this is here specified by MCP server trigger, and it's active. Now, what I've done here is created essentially a ability to test this MCP server directly within this workflow. But let me just walk you through the functionality of this MCP server. So this server has several tools. It has a generate image tool, a edit image tool, a suggest image improvements tool, a perplexity internet search tool, and a pixel search tool. So we're primarily using the generate image for this workflow, but this MCP server is actually quite rich in functionality. So you have a lot of abilities here. So I'll walk you through some of the abilities shortly. But how this works is, as the creative director realizes that it needs to create a visual, it's going to go into the MCP client, and the MCP client knows that the server has these capabilities, right? So in this case, it's going to use the generate image capabilities. So then it will then call into the generate. So it's going to come through here, call the generate image capabilities. And if I go into here, this generate image, what it will do is I've created this using the, so I go to here and then I call n8n workflow, right? So this is where I create this node, right? So I added that node, generate image here, and I pass into it just description. This tool is used to generate image, and then I specify the workflow ID as this one here that then calls into the sub workflow, right? So then I pass into it what type of message this is. So this is from a generate command, and then I don't have a edit URL. So then it will flow into here, and then jump into the sub workflow here. So in the sub workflow, if you click on here, it's going to receive an image prompt, that's a type string. What type of the messages is this? So in this case, we passed into a generate, and then the image URL. This is not used for the generate image, but used for edit, so that we can edit a previous image, right? So then what I'm using here, so I'll go into the generate, and I'm using the OpenAI, the latest GPT image 1. So this is the best image model, text to image model in the field right now. So I'm using this image model, and I'm giving it some parameters in terms of the image quality. And then I'm telling it to then take the base64 string. So the output of this is base64. So it's a texture representation of a JPEG or a PNG file. So, but then I need to convert that into a binary file. So this is what it does. So I go extract file, and it does that. And then, so how I'm getting this node is I'm going to here and doing OpenAI, and in here there is a generate an image. So this is what this node is about. And then extract file, there's also an equivalent here, extract file from here, right? And then after I create the binary of the generated, I upload it to a image service, right? So I'm using something called image BB. So this is there's a very generous free tier that I'm using. So image BB, I use the upload API. So I take the I create a key for that, and I take the image from the extract file, and then I upload that image. And the key thing here is that this creates a URL that I pass into here that I can then use with other services and return back to the creative director so that I can pass into the report that's generated. All right, so let's just see this working. So I'm going to go in here and say, please generate a cartoon comic strip that summarizes following. So I'm getting this from the top part of my report. So I'm going to call the generate image, and this generate image tool will go into this path here. And as we talked about, it'll go to the switch, and then it's going to use this image1 image to generate the image, and then it's going to go extract the file into binary, and it's going to upload the image here, and then it's going to generate a URL, and this URL will then be passed back here. You see here, it's generated this report here, or this visual here. Okay, now let's look at some other capabilities that we have in this MCP server. All right, so we looked at the generate image. Now let's look at the edit image. So this edit image here, again, we create this using the call n8n workflow. So we select this tool here, and we get this node here, and we're going to call it the description for this tool. Call this tool to edit images or to generate new image based on existing images, and then we pass it the URL of the image to be edited. All right, so in this case, we're going to have the AI generate the image prompt. We're going to say that it's of type edit, right? And then the image URL, we're going to ask the AI to pass from the previous image that we're working with, right? So in this case, the image that we're working with is the previous one here. And then what's going to happen is that when we hit edit image, it's going to go to this workflow, right? And it's going to have here in the switch here, the message type is edit. So it's then going to go into this workflow. And then what I'm going to do is take the URL that is passed, the one that I wanted to edit, and I'm going to then download that file. So download that file into a field called data. And then I'm going to then pass it into, once again, my OpenAI the API for the images, especially for GPT image 1. So I'm using image 1 also for this edit, this edit capability. So I take into here the image that I want to edit and pass it into this this API here. So then it does the work, and then in a similar way, I'm going to upload the result of that to this imagepp.com. So I created an account here, and it's similar to what we did in the previous note, use the free plan, and then upload that so that I get at the end of that a URL that points to the edited file. So let's go and try that. So I'm going to just say, please edit this file or edit this image to include human characters instead. All right, so it's going to process this, and then it's going to edit this image. And then it's going to work through this workflow going down this path here. And then it's going to, at the end, return a URL. And this URL will point to the new image. All right, so now it's updated with human characters instead. So we have this cartoon that talks about NVIDIA being a GPU pioneer, an AI revolution, how well the Blackwell chip is doing, and it being a continued technical leader. Right. So this is the edit API. Now, the next one that I've created here is this suggest image improvement prompts. Right. There may be times when you just want the AI to give you suggestions on how to improve the image. Right. So what the suggestion API does is that once again we use the call n8n workflow node, this tool, and we create this node here, and we give it this description, call this tool to examine the image and get the suggestions to how to make it better, and pass into the tool the URL of the image to be analyzed. Right. So the type the type of this tool is a suggestion, and the image prompt will be passed in, and the image URL will be passed in. So this is then going to go down this path here. So in this path, what I do is I use the OpenAI node to analyze the image. So I'm using the AI image capabilities, right, the vision capabilities to see what the image is, right? So the text input, the instruction is analyze this image and make suggestions on how to improve it, all right? And then we're going to pass into it the image URL. So I'm just going to say here, can you make suggestions on how to improve this image? All right, so when I run that, it's going to take the URL from the edit image, and then it's going to call into this suggest image tool, right? Suggest image improvements tool, and it's going to go through this flow, come down here, and then it's going to give us some suggestions, right? So suggest here color harmony, right? So maybe improve some of that, typography consistency, okay? Character improvements in the cartoon, background enhancement. So that's interesting. And then would you like me to implement these improvements and create an enhanced version? So sure, let's improve the storytelling element. So let's go ahead. Please improve the storytelling elements. So we'll do that. All right, so it's going to take the suggestions and use from the previous image, take the suggestions from this previous conversation and make changes to that image with those suggestions. All right, so you can see here that it's made suggestions and implemented the suggestions. So the storyline has improved, right? We're revolutionizing graphics. The AI is the future, and Blackwell is breaking records, and we're shaping tomorrow's tech. So it's implemented the changes to our comic strip. Now, so I won't cover the perplexity node. That's been well covered in previous videos. This is research. The reason why I added this one here is because you can include in this workflow, do some research on certain elements, and then incorporate that research in your analysis and discussions with the AI on how to improve these images. Right. The last thing I want to highlight is that this workflow also has this pixel search. So this pixel search has stock images. Right. So if I go into here, search pixel for stock images. So these are stock images that you may get, and you can use this at pixels.com. So it's a free API, a very, very cool service. So I added this in here and set the query type in here. And so if I say here, please give me some suggestions on possible stock images that I can include, then I have the repository of the pixel search, or the pixel stock images to be able to drop on, right? So I'll let this run, and let me just correct that. Please use the pixel search tool for stock images. All right, so we'll go ahead and call this pixel search, and then let it do some searching that may be appropriate for our context here. And so it's going to return a set of example stock images that may be appropriate here. So we'll let that run. All right, so here are some examples of things that we may be able to include from the stock images. Right, so pretty comprehensive set here. So last step, is that I've then hooked up everything into this MCP server trigger like this. So these tools can be used internally here in the chat, or expose as the MCP server trigger. And then the server trigger then is what's being added back into the creative director as a tool, right? So that's kind of the bridge. All right, now let's wrap up with the final node. So after we process the creative director AI agent, then we go into this polish node. So this polish node, I'll just open this up. Its main responsibilities are basically to create a title for the article, and then to take the feature image that we created with the previous node and insert that into the article, so that it's one cohesive HTML that goes into my Gmail node. So that's the main thing that it does. And then we create a structure output here. The structure output just tells it how to format the output. So I want a title, and I want the image URL and the article combined, right? I give an example of that. So it will give me this output. And similar here, I did the same thing for creative director. So I just told it, the image, the output is the image URL. And then lastly, in the Gmail node, I just attach that output from the polish into the Gmail node. So that's the end-to-end flow.